All right. Moving on to number 1, AR 17-016, petition to amend the zoning regulations, George Marshall, amendment to section 27.2.4 to prevent multiple unit dwellings units in the B2 zone. Is there an agent or applicant here?
Yes, good evening. My name is Chuck Mandel, agent for the applicant, George Marshall, who is with me tonight. In regards to section 27.2.4 of the zoning regulations, we are requesting a change of the wording of the permitted use from not allowed to allowed by special exception for the B2 zone. In talking with town staff, we are of the opinion that this change would create a more diverse use within the district and create housing that is not only more affordable, but could also feature handicapped accessibility for those less fortunate. And that is why we're here tonight.
Okay, very good.
There's correspondence on this.
Oh, yes. Do we have any correspondence?
You did get the planner's report earlier today. Is everybody here to see it? I know Mr. Mandel has not had a chance to review it, so.
Just one, is this in regards to this specific?
It is in regards to the text change application.
The text change application, okay.
Okay.
Should we read it?
Why don't we read it into the record at this point, since it just came this afternoon, and I'm not sure everybody has an opportunity to read it. I know you haven't.
I have not seen it.
All right. Why don't you just read it?
If you have, you can read it.
This is from John Guzkowski with CME Associates. It's in regards to proposed zoning regulations AR 17-016 multiple dwelling units as special exception use in the B2 zone. Chairman Newsom and P&Z members, I have been asked to review application AR 17-016 proposing to amend the Clinton zoning regulations section 27.2.4 to allow multiple dwelling units as a special exception use in the B2 zone, where they are currently prohibited. The brief explanatory note with the application indicates that the proposed change would create a more diverse use within the district. It would allow a broader range of residential housing, including lower income and handicapped accessible facilities. I have reviewed the proposal for consistency with the existing regulations and with the town's plan of conservation and development. Please consider this note as part of your public hearing and deliberations. Multiple dwelling units as standalone use category are currently not allowed in any non-residential zoning district. By contrast, multiple dwelling units in commercial structures, 27.2.5, are allowed in the IDC zone and M zoning district, though not in the B2 zone. For proposing this amendment, the applicant is essentially requesting that freestanding, single-use, multifamily dwelling developments, apartments or condos, be allowed in the B2 zoning district. The B2 zone is largely within the Clinton Center planning focus area, as described in the POCD, which is generally supportive of adding a mix of uses, including multifamily residential. Specifically, a recommended action item for this area states, change zoning to increase density on the undeveloped area of the Unilever site and in the downtown buildings, allow for mixed-use opportunities. In my read of the POCD description of the goals for Clinton Center multifamily, it is to be encouraged and facilitated, but generally as a part of mixed-use development projects. The downtown area is intended to be a traditional mix of businesses, restaurants, office, retail, etc. on street and lower levels, with the potential for residential or office, etc. on upper level floors or upper floors. Street-level residential or freestanding multifamily developments are not particularly favored for this area. The recent ad hoc subcommittee chaired by Alan Kravich, which discussed design and usage goals for portions of Clinton Center within the B2 zone, also confirmed that the mixed-use model demonstrated by the Milano development on the north side of West Main Street, east of Lumberyard Road, was generally desirable model, if not an ideal site layout. The general approach to expanding housing options as part of a mixed-use Clinton Center is a good one, but the specific request mechanism is not. In brief, it would be my recommendation that the Planning and Zoning Commission deny this application or instead offer a modification that would change 27.2.5 of the regulation instead of 27.2.4 to allow multiple dwelling units in commercial structures in the B2 zone. Please contact me if you have any questions about these comments. Thank you, respectfully, John Guzkowski, AICP Consulting Town Planner. Okay. Sorry you're just hearing that now.
That's not a problem. My initial reaction to that letter, as much as I could digest in a short amount of time, is while I don't disagree with the commercial mixed-use aspect of this project, of the zone, the reason that we have this is as a special exception permit. So every case could be looked at in this zone on a case-by-case basis. In the particular instance, I don't want to jump ahead to the next application, but we are looking at a handicapped floor below with walk-up units above and lower cost. I know there is quite a bit of vacant commercial space in Clinton already, and to create more commercial space that's hard to lease out or rent out doesn't appear to be in tone with, trying to improve the downtown area. You do need some density to get people to use these shops. So that is why we're looking at a special exception as opposed to granting a blanket permitting for multifamily.
Okay. Christine?
Would it be useful for the commissioners to hear the two different regulations that were highlighted?
Yeah, if you want to read those to us, that'd be fine.
So the application currently references 27.2.4, except in the event, this is section 27.
Okay, this is under the previous regs, I have to get you the current.
I was going to say, because this doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense, no. You're looking at
That's what I
it's
wanted.
not going to correlate.
All right, maybe perhaps you should read that then there.
I'll track down what we're referring to. Okay? Give me a second. Okay? And we'll change the corporate rate on this, okay?
I can tell you all about the fire marshal in mobile homes. What it was.
That's what came up at.
You got the same thing, Christine?
I was a little concerned.
Multiple dwellings.
You're still used to it.
I have a copy of Candy if you need it.
Yeah.
For the record, that's Tony Balda, my associate.
No, it's not that one. But they didn't have
All we're doing is we're taking local zoning units here and making it B2 from an X now to an SE.
It's the use table.
It's a use table.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we're doing. So.
I just want to make sure, because just clarifying, because our book is not
Your book is not up to
accurate.
date, that's
Oh,
correct.
right.
We need to get you new regs, I'm working on getting that done as quickly as possible, it has not happened yet, obviously. Okay, it's the new use table.
Is it on, but you're online and it's not.
It's not
updated
online.
Okay.
We'll get it out ASAP, because I know it's the current regs, we don't need to use it.
And it's not the intent to dismantle the regulation, it's just the intent to give the commission the latitude to grant that on a case-by-case
Case
basis.
basis, change it from an
Yes.
X to an S. Okay. All right. Other, take more questions from commissioners.
Yes, what do you?
All right, just any other questions from commissioners for? No?
I thought we usually do questions at the end.
Well, we'll go to the public and then you get questions, but. Christine, do you have a picture of Christine? For Christine to sign people in for comments? Sure. So we're going to take general comments from the public, comments of people in favor, against, and then general comments. If you want to comment, please come on. Christine will have a sign-in sheet, sign your name and address, and then state your name into the closest microphone so we can hear you. Is there anybody that wanted to speak in favor of this application?
Mr. General, I'm in general.
Okay. Anybody who wants to speak against this application?
Sorry.
That's right, I gotta ask 3 times. Anybody want to speak?
More traditional than the actual, so you go.
Okay. That's Anybody in favor? Again, for the third time, anybody that wants to speak in favor? Anybody who would like to speak against the application? Against? A third time against? Still. Okay. General comments.
Yeah, I just, Mike Milano for the record,
Address.
67 West Main Street. So I just have a couple of questions, just general, not leaning either way, just listening tonight and everything. So just so I understand what Chuck's saying is, you're proposing a change, he's proposing a change to the zoning regs, not for one specific parcel, just the zoning reg.
You have to amend by district. So
Yep.
he's taking the B2 district
Yeah.
and saying that in the entire B2 district, you would then be able to do this by special exception. So anything in the B2 district would be treated equally.
Okay. And currently in the B2, you're not allowed, so I'm understanding that this is strictly a dwelling window and not mixed use as we currently,
Yeah, what he's asking for
multiple dwellings.
is multiple unit dwellings.
Yeah.
Okay, so multiple unit dwellings are at this point prohibited in all commercial districts.
Right.
He was asking that by special exception, in this one commercial district, they be allowed. Okay?
And
On a case-by-case basis.
on case by case, right? And, all right, and then I'm interested in it because I'm in the process of looking at a few other parcels in the area, and that changes the whole dynamic of the area somewhat. And what my spin on it as what I own over there now is it's nice that when you have businesses feed off of businesses, and if the tide changes to be I don't want to say apartment buildings, but if you start having an abundance of, because everybody hits the red button because everything's vacant, and this is the way to go, and all these apartments go up and buildings go up. I know they're all restricted by septic and there's huge things that are going to squeeze it down, but I had a vision when I originally came here, and I'm not saying point and finish or anything. The conversation was that the town's desire was to make that a mixed-use area on the West Main side, business and retail, retail business combined with dwelling. I'm just listening to this to understand if the direction of the town's changing or not, but that's all. The look, what you're thinking, I guess. And the floating, this is just a stupid question, the floating zone, thing that was laying somewhere, I don't know where, is the B2 zone have that laid over it now?
No, the floating zone only can land where someone proposes it could
Right,
land.
I understand. But I mean,
So it's-
is that an area that was approved to possibly come in under a floating zone and slam it, and like could he come in and target one piece that way instead of changing the
Well,
zone?
again, the theory behind the floating zone is it's not designed for individual pieces. It's designed for more than one piece.
Areas.
It's designed for accumulation of pieces or for areas.
Right.
So, yes, B2 is eligible under the Central District floating zone, the Main Street District floating zone, the MSD1.
Yeah.
But at the present time, there is no proposal underway to land it anywhere.
Right,
So,
okay.
okay?
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anybody else with general comments? No other general comments? Okay. Any comments or questions from the commission? Ellen?
Yeah, you have used the word, the term affordable housing, but you don't, you don't envision this as being deed restricted affordable housing, is that correct?
Not affordable housing as under current state statute.
So in other words, it would not contribute to
No.
the requirement to have a certain amount of...
It may or may not. I mean, depending on what application comes in. The application that we're presenting is not, but there could be an affordable housing that comes in, and then the commission would be...
We're just hearing on 16 now, okay.
Exactly.
My question is more on 17, okay.
Right, exactly. But in response to that, if it did come in as affordable housing, this would where the commission could actually vote on it and say, yes, in this district, we could have an affordable housing. And to address Mr. Milano's question about the commercial aspect and how everyone's going to come in and it's just going to change the whole tenant of the town, that's why it's on a case-by-case basis. As certain applications may have the merit to warrant the multi-family use.
Very good, thank you. All right. get a motion? Bill?
Just one more rebuttal comment. Yeah, my only, not, no place is going to take over, but my only feel with it is if the, I guess, you know, like, I'll give you an example. Let's say this went through and this next part of it gets approved on a certain parcel, and I bought a piece next door to it. I would assume that if I wanted to come into the same thing, let's say, you know, as an investor buying a piece of property with me or somebody else, they would feel like, you know, if I have the same footprint of a property and he has it, you know, why can't I? And you start getting that thing going on when, you know, dominoes. That was my only, you know, spin on it.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
We did.
Oh, you're going to flip it to the beginning? Or you said you mentioned
No,
doing commission
we
and
already
again?
did the commission. Ellen was the only person that raised her hand.
Oh,
but
I'm
you
sorry.
have a, do you have a question?
I
Mr.
just
Chairman,
have
I withdraw my motion.
Thank you.
Sorry, thanks. I just have a general question, if we can get clarification from the consultant planner. I'm just not sure why he's specified the change, that's all, in his amendment, or his letter.
What you mean?
He's making a recommendation to change .5 to .4, .4 to .5, sorry, second page.
It's still there, 26.
I mean, more, I guess what he's talking about is he thinks that the appropriate use there is mixed use, and therefore he would suggest that .4, which is only residential, not be the use we approve, that you instead approve .5, which is mixed use. Okay, that's really what he's going after.
So he's indicating that he doesn't feel as though residential component should be
Without commercial.
without commercial.
Standalone.
Okay.
Only residential.
And I guess I would just reference the town plan specifically calls for that as well. In the economics section, we discussed looking at certain areas of the downtown and that a business type development is going to bring in more revenue to the town versus a residential component. And also at this point, also within the town plan, we're talking about new development in town. If it is residential, we have that 10% threshold that we still need to meet for affordability that we're currently only at 2.7%. So any new residential we build in town adds to that new criteria, that 10% as to more affordable housing that the town still is mandated to meet that criteria.
I guess,
Are we going to hear 17 separately?
Yeah, you're going to hear 17 separately, and again, this is not, we're supposed to be staying away from deliberation this
Yep.
year, so.
It's just a question for the consultant planner, though, that's why I would like, just more specifics as to his,
As to why he
referencing.
recommended that.
right, because
Okay.
he doesn't obviously deliberate in it, but he doesn't give more of a debrief on that specific section that he highlighted, as in a change from that .5 to .4. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, I will note that, and I will put it for the.
If I can add one more thing to that specifically. The town planner, as a consultant, he is a consultant, but anything that does come in can certainly go back to the consultant and be, have its input on individual projects.
Sure. Ellen, did you have a question before I take comments?
No,
No, okay, Nami?
I guess I was just going to add what Christine was talking about. It seems like we're already talking about the low income and the handicap accessible, so heart is already there. Maybe have you ever thought about affordable housing piece rather than, since you are already...
But that's 17.
That's 17, we can't go there. We're taking the two things separate. Two items, we're gonna get to.
The next agenda item.
I only alluded to that to give a for instance. It just happens to be possible in that application, but I wanted to give the commission enough information to think what the possibilities of what could happen.
Well, you triggered.
Okay.
And then I have one other question, whether or not you engage with our consultant planner to talk about, there was that floating zone that was created, whether or not that mechanism is something that you're trying to achieve versus just
We
like...
worked with Eric, town staff, so this is the route that we took.
So the only other comment I have is the B2 zone. I was just looking at the zoning map. It pretty much starts from the Lumberyard Road up till the hardware store that we have. That's Route 1 and a little bit of Commerce Street. that's all we have B2 in town.
Not big section. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right.
Do you have a criteria for affordable housing? What is affordable housing
Well,
in terms of what you're saying?
the public portion, unfortunately, the hearing is closed at this point.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
I think we might be able to get, you might be able to get that answered in the next application. All right. Can I get a motion to close?
Make a motion to close.
By Gary, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?